In 2014, one of my musical heroes, Dave Brockie, left this mortal plane. You hear about celebrity deaths all the time on the news, but this was one of the few that actually hit me. I still remember the day it happened and where I was. Immediately, questions of whether GWAR would continue without its primary mastermind sprung about. We were introduced to Blothar that summer. Behind the costume, he was a previous member of the band who came and went. But after Brockie's death, the band concluded that he was the one to call and take center stage. When he was first introduced, his costume looked horrible. Really rushed, really pieced together at the last minute. But he was able to sing Oderus' songs with respect, and had high notes that Dave sometimes had trouble with on stage in later years. The live shows were just as gory and fun, so those who stuck with GWAR wondered how a new album would hold up. The Blood of Gods is a tribute to Dave. It's in the title, it's on the back of the album, it's in the sleeve. There's even a song about him on here. To be honest, I had no idea what to expect from it. Along with Chuck Varga, Hunter Jackson, and a couple of others, Dave was a key guy in the creative process. Does it sound different without him? No shit! But I can at least hope that it shreds and feels like a GWAR album. So, starting with the sound, it's clear, heavy, and powerful. I don't think the intense sound of Battle Maximus or Bloody Pit of Horror was surpassed here. I mean, how can you go wrong with those guitar sounds? However, for the most part, the music is catchy in the vein of mid-90s GWAR, so for this type of sound, you can get away with not having the most distorted guitars in the world. Blothar's vocals to me are a little low in the mix, but at least you can hear the bass. Speaking of bass, Blothar and Beefcake switch up bass rolls on a few of these songs. I guess Michael Bishop missed playing bass in GWAR. So, if you're listening to the CD version, War on GWAR is probably the moodiest intro on any of their albums thus far. 7 minutes long and lyrically continuing after the story of the Orgasmageddon comics. Actually, its structure is similar to the title track of Lost in Space and shares some similarities.
I gaze through the night and behold constellations. A blood mist rises over the horizon.
Viking Death Machine is catchy and upbeat, a good racing song, and a good song to run people over to. Now my favorite song on here is probably El Presidente. It's the catchiest and the best one that I can imagine Oderus is singing on. As you might have guessed, it's about killing the president. I'll bet you anything that this was probably GWAR's answer to the Kathy Griffin Trump art scandal, especially since her attorney couldn't even get their fucking name right in the press.
Many male artists have created far more disturbing imagery. The band GWAR has had violent images like this for president after president for years.
I'll Be Your Monster was one of the singles, a catchier, poppier tune, but undeniably fun. Blothar's voice actually fits really well with this style of music. If he wasn't in GWAR, I could definitely see him being in a 70s rock type of band. Where you used to have Oderus' rasp and lower register, Blothar's voice tends to be more screamy, suited for hard rock. In fact, he almost reminds me of Bon Scott the way he pulls it off. His range isn't the same as Oderus, but at least he's always in tune and never out of breath here. Swarm is an anti-humanity anthem, my type of song. And once again, I hear similarities with past songs, this one particularly reminding me of Crackdown. In fact, quite a few songs on here seem to have parallels to the past. Crushed by the Cross sounds like Bile Driver, Fuck This Place has a drum beat like Maggots. I guess it makes the album sound nostalgic, but as for the song, it's probably the heaviest on the album. The most humorous song is Death to Dickie Duncan, basically about an evil fast food mascot that feeds people to death. Classic GWAR social commentary right here. Actually, that's what a good bit of the lyrics on this album are about. You know, just things that are wrong with America. Fast food obsession, religion, politics, you get the idea. On this song, though, it's the funniest and most GWAR-like. Something that I think this album could have used more of. Fuck This Place is another single. Basically GWAR raising hell on earth and heightening the body count. Some really good guitar work and something that everybody can sing along with at shows. Phantom Limb is the obligatory Oderus tribute song, a slow ballad addressing how hard it's been without him and how the fans have reacted to them continuing. This one's probably going to be the song that I instantly think of years from now when people talk about the Blood of Gods. Lastly, there's a cover of AC/DC's If You Want Blood, You Got It. Well, they did a good job and it's fun to hear live because they'll pump blood at you the whole time, but to me it's just like, oh cool, it's GWAR playing AC/DC. I mean, Blothar does have the voice for it, but as far as GWAR covers go, Wayward Son still gets my vote. This was an album that I had to take several listens before I could make a fair final judgment. The music and concept is done well, however, I can tell that the chemistry is a bit off without Dave. I knew going in that it was going to sound a bit different, but even the shock value of GWAR seems toned down. Raping fetuses, crack boulders, armies of strippers, that stuff is hardly there. I mean, Battle Maximus wasn't that over the top either, but you still had songs like Raped at Birth and I Bone Snapper. Yeah, we still have the humor with Dickie Duncan and Sawborg Song, but just don't expect anything in the ballpark of Black and Huge or BDF. On paper, it's a GWAR album. For what it is, The Blood of Gods is an enjoyable listen, though I wouldn't consider it one of GWAR's definitive albums. Some say GWAR died with Dave, and that's understandable. However, given that lineup changes can do good things, I'm willing to be optimistic and guess that the guys will sound comfortable in another album. GWAR is still best experienced as a live band, so even if you can't accept them continuing without Oderus, you can still have a really fun time getting blood splattered at shows. The Blood of Gods marks the beginning of a new chapter in the GWAR story.